hello from the past.
Yes, hello, and hello to Katie. You're both in Lille and the northeast of England at the same time. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I'm just that good.
We've mentioned that you have an encyclopedic knowledge of recent Tour de France knowledge, and we are going to squeeze all of that juice out of your brain.
Yeah, so as we know, the Tour has a few different competitions running at the same time. We expect this first stage to have ended in a sprint. If you're watching this, you will know the answer to that.
Watch Pogacar win it.
He really could. But regardless of what has happened today, this is a 3-week affair, at the end of which we will see someone crowned the winner of the Green Sprinters jersey. So we want to have a look at some of the contenders for this year.
It's probably good to start off with last year's winner, Biniam Girmay of Intermarché Wanty. 2024 was a year of history being made at the Tour de France, especially for sprinters, with Mark Cavendish winning his record 35th stage. And we had a first as well, the first black rider to win a stage of the Tour de France, which is pretty epic. And he went on to win 3 stages as well as the green jersey.
It made for absolutely phenomenal viewing, and it was especially nice to see a smaller team, so that being Intermarché Wanty, which probably have a budget which is 10 times less than the big teams, doing so well. And I would definitely say that Binny fits into this category of a hybrid sprinter that we're seeing from people like Wout van Aert and Matias Vanderpole.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He's got a more sort of classics profile. His first major victory was at Ghent-Wevelgem, which is one of the spring classics. And there's a difference between winning a sprint stage at the Tour de France, which is hard, and winning the green jersey, which is really hard because you've got to be able to get over those hills. And he's proven that he can do that. He battled to all those intermediate sprint points last year, and ultimately that's what won him the jersey.
Yeah, you're so right, because in fact, his main rival last year, Jasper Philipsen, I think ended up with the same amount of stages as Binny overall, but it was Binny who pipped him on points, and that's what mattered.
And we'd definitely love to see Binny do it again. What sort of form is he in at the minute?
On paper, he doesn't look like he's in quite as good form as last year. He hasn't won any races in 2025. He's picked up a few podiums, but yeah, no wins so far.
I wonder if there's an argument that for a team like Intermarché Wanty, who have less resources, perhaps they are just pooling way more of their focus into this race. So maybe this is where we'll see him and them come alive more.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's part of the reason why he did so well last year. The team were just so behind him, 100%. It was an amazing year for them, for their sponsors. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually, to see them do the same. It was kind of a big surprise last year when they burst out and he had such an amazing tour. It could be the same this year. He could arrive and just be in spectacular form, have timed it to perfection and, yeah, just smash it again.
However, arguably, he does have more competition this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, his biggest competition last year was Jasper Philipsen, who's been a top contender at the Tour for the past couple of years, winning green in 2023. He came really close in 2022 as well, the year in which he earned the nickname Jasper Disaster. And his form this year looks a little bit sketchy. He's only won 2 races, which isn't many by his standards. And yeah, he's had a few misses in races where we thought he maybe would have been more prominent. So we'll have to wait and see on him.
He does, of course, have the god-tier lead-out man that is Matias Vanderpole, that last year exited the Tour de France early to focus on the Olympics. And we are expecting, or at least hoping, to see Vanderpole at the Tour de France for the full duration this year.
Yeah, we're hoping for it. Philipsen is definitely going to be hoping for it as well.
Well, it's interesting that you should mention that because the organisers ASO have actually changed the final stage this year. Normally it's a flat bunch sprint, which rolls around Paris for like 8 laps of a flat circuit and would never end in anything other than a bunch sprint. But this year they've thrown a bit of a curveball in that they've added in the Mon Matra climb, which is this lovely little cobbled climb in Paris, short, punchy. They're doing 3 circuits of it and it will really invite the likes of Van Aert and Vanderpole into the mix. So there might be like a carrot that they're dangling in front of him, trying to persuade him, Mathieu, stay all for the 3 weeks, you know.
Oh, do you think? That is an interesting take. I think that Vanderpole brings so much attention and headlines to races that he turns up at. So I can definitely see why the organisers would want him there. Mon Matra, I think, is going to be incredibly exciting. It featured in last year's Olympics course as well. I know there has been backlash from parts of the peloton who have said it's too dangerous. It puts too much like stress in the mix near the finish line, and it's potentially going to result in more crashes. They're not happy about it, but it's clear that the organisers want a spectacle and want to shake up what some people deem to be a little bit of a, dare I say, boring stage at the end.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a procession. And I think you're right. I think they are keen to try something different. After last year, actually, in Nice, where they did a time trial, only because the Olympics was in Paris. So logistically, it couldn't have been done. But I think it opened their minds to give them a chance to just try something new. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Pogacar went for it himself. Can you imagine if he was in the yellow jersey, winning on the Champs-Élysées? Not many people have done that.
No. Do you think?
You never know. It's Pogacar, isn't it?
It is. If anyone in a yellow jersey was going to do it, it would be Pogacar.
So we've got Biniam Girmay, we've got Jasper Philipsen. What are the other challenges for the green jersey this year?
Well, actually, a big favourite is Little Trek's Jonathan Milan. The Italian won the points jersey at his home Grand Tour, the Giro d'Italia, in 2023 and 2024. So he's proven he has what it takes to race over 3 weeks and manage those difficulties. And he's going to be, a force to be reckoned with. We've seen him win just multiple races this year. He's won the points jersey at the UAE Tour, which is a very traditionally sprinty. Well, it's in a desert, so very flat. He's won the points jersey at Tirreno Adriatico, which is a bit more hilly. But most recently, we've seen him win a stage at the Criterium de Dauphiné, which is full of mountains. It's a really hard course, so much so that we saw most of the other sprinters stay away.
It's interesting. He is definitely showing himself as a sprinter who can climb, and he is definitely going to need to do that if he wants to pick up the points in this competition as well.
So is he the fastest man in the race?
He could be, but arguably faster than him in a pure flat bunch sprint is European champion Soudal Quickstep's Tim Merlier. He has won 10 races in 2025, and crucially, he's 3-1 up in head-to-heads against Milan in bunch sprint finishes. However, Merlier can struggle over 3 weeks. He's never won a points jersey at a Grand Tour in the past, and actually he's only ridden 4, and he's only completed 50% of those.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you could also argue that his team's focus is surely going to be on Remco Evenepoel and that general classification. And it could mean that Merlier might not get the support he crucially needs in those mountains.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about having a lead out rider. It's about getting over those mountains when the going gets tough. So yeah, I potentially don't see a Mark Cavendish type scenario here.
So you mean an entire team surrounding their sprinter with aero socks and bottles and dragging him, practically pushing him up the hill.
Exactly that.
Katie, I need to ask you, what about Wout van Aert?
Do you mean the cycling love of your life?
Isn't he the cycling love of all our lives?
Yes.
We can't count him out. He's won the points jersey in the past, in 2022, and he's won multiple stages at the race. He has had a rough couple of years, though, with crashes and injuries, and it's been a really difficult time for him, leading to many questioning his form. And indeed, he had a difficult start to 2025. However, he went to the Giro d'Italia and he proved everyone wrong and showed up, winning a stage and but being there for Simon Yates, the eventual winner of the race, his teammate, on that classic stage 20 on the Col della Finestra, in which he must have put in one of the climbing performances of his career. So we've got a lot to look forward to with Wout van Aert, I think. Because even if he's not winning the sprints, he's always up the road waiting for Jonas Vingegaard. So, you know.
Here. Team Wout.
Other than that, there's plenty more sprint talent at the race. But my guess is that the best of the rest will be there for stage wins rather than to try and go for the green jersey.
Yeah, fair. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for your wisdom, Katie. So tomorrow we will bring you our thoughts on the yellow jersey contenders. We're going to be incredibly optimistic and say there could be more than one contender. But for now, back to Jimmy in the future with a preview of what's coming up on tomorrow's stage.